Good evening, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me and see me. We'll wait for a few more quizzes to join us. Hope you're all having a good one. What have you had for dinner? What are you drinking? Let me know in the chat while we wait. Oh, all the way from my kitchen. Yeah, it's Annabelle. Hi. Staying hydrated with that H2O. Who else is joining us this evening? It's an 80s quiz. I'd be playing an 80s playlist, but can you hear me all right? Obviously, I can't play any music. It would just cut us out. Howdy, Villa Magic 82. Is my volume okay this evening? Is my sound okay? Hopefully, it's better than last week's horrendous start to the quiz. Robert's here. Hello, good evening. What are people having for dinner? We had chili, corned beef chili. It was juicy. Nice. Good evening, those of you turning up now. How are you doing? We'll start in a minute or two. We'll just wait for a few last quizzes to arrive. I always ask what you're having for dinner. So what are you having for dinner? In the chat. Sorry. Choking on my own booze. Roast lamb. Yes, Annabelle, I'm aware we had chili with rice because I had the same dinner as you. But thanks for letting me know. Roast lamb sounds good. Keema naan with yogurt and mint dip, Rob Griffiths. Nice. There's variety out there tonight. Fish and chips, Lisa. Lockdown fish and chips. I hope it was good. I hope they gave you good tartar. Everyone having a Wednesday night bevy? I'm on my favourite Dragon Stout, for those of you who know. Small sponsorship deal, hopefully. Give it another minute and we'll crack on. Curry and cheesecake. Hopefully not at the same time, Pam. Thanks. But you never know. Right sort of spice acidity balance. Okay, everybody. Well, I'll give my usual spiel. I think it's our first quiz of the week this week, Wednesday. It's Treehouse Quizzes with me, Shura. If you don't know, and you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. It's an 80s quiz with various sub-themes within the 80s. Welcome back, Quiz Me Till It Hurts. As always, if you are tuning in just for one or a couple this week, we'd love you to chuck us a couple of quid per player to help Treehouse Quizzes keep going. I'm going to just chuck the Covey in the chat there. If you can afford to, that would be great. If you're just here and you can't afford to, please just enjoy the quiz. As always, we love a good quiz, so hopefully you're here for the same reason we are. I will just briefly throw the lineup up once more. For those of you who missed it, it's me, 80s quiz tonight. Tomorrow, general knowledge with Simon. You got Big Jim's lock-in, part 4, The Reckoning. And Simon's back with a music quiz on Saturday with the DJ set afterwards. So I'll put that back up in the break. And it's got the rest of the details if you want to hear from us or perhaps book us for a private quiz, because some people have been enjoying those recently. But yeah, that's it from me with normal spiel. We're going to crack on with an 80s themed quiz. So hopefully you've got your pens and papers ready for quiz time, 80s style. Cue 80s music. Boop. No, sorry. Can't afford it. So question 1. Starting you off is the general knowledge 80s question, round 1 part 1 of the quiz. So here it is, question 1. In 1987, which forecaster assured viewers that there was definitely not a hurricane on the way before England was hit, most certainly, by a hurricane? So that's question 1. In 1987, which weather forecaster assured viewers that there definitely was not a hurricane on the way, like literally hours before a hurricane hit? So who is that? Question 1. That's question 1. Okay. Question 2. Question 2. Which legendary handheld games console was released in 1989? Question number 2. Which legendary handheld games console was released in 1989? Oh, yes. Still got my original. Okay, question 3. Question 3. The first commercial available mobile phone looked like this. It's a picture. He didn't remind me. Here it is. This is a picture of the first commercial mobile phone. In what year was it publicly launched and by which company? You'll get a point for each of them. Let me just... Ooh, not that one. Not that one. This guy. Ooh. I'm going to swoop myself onto this side for the slightly easier. I don't know if it's easier. But this is picture 1 for question number 3. This was the first commercially available mobile phone. In which year was it publicly launched? And by which company? This beautiful, amazing piece of technology. Oh! Yes, that mobile phone. There it is. The shocker. Give you a moment to think about that. Pardon me. Question 4. How many prime ministers did the UK have during the 80s? Question 4. How many prime ministers did the UK have during the 80s? Okay. Question number 5. Question 5. The musical Cats premiered in 1981. Which actor had to pull out due to injury? I'll give you a clue. She later appeared in the film version. Question 5. The Cats musical premiered in 1981. Which actor had to pull out due to an injury? I'll give you that little clue once more. She later appeared in the film version. Much derided and razzied. Oh, it says here, at this point, I'm to mock you because we can't play music on the YouTube quiz. Sorry, there's no music here, but there would be in this space. Question 6. Question 6. Queen's Under Pressure was released in 1981. Which other artist's vocals appear on the track? Question 6. Queen's Under Pressure was released in 1981. Which other artist's vocals appear on the track? Who was it? Question number 7 is about to hit your ears. Here it is. Question number 7. In 1985, which music artist used Concord to appear at both London and Philadelphia Live Aid concerts? Question 7. In 1985, which music artist used Concord to appear at both London and Philadelphia Live Aid concerts? Who was that? Who was it? Question 8. Question 8 is our next picture. It is this one. Who is this? Who is this? Who are these? Who are they? Who is that? Who are they? Who is it? Who are they? Who is this? So that is question 8. Who is this? It's really hard to do that when it's reversed. So that's question 8. Picture number 2. Who is this? Question 9. I won't give you long enough to think about it. Question 9. England actually won Eurovision Song Contest in 1981 with the song Making Your Mind Up. Who were the band who won? So, question 9. England actually won the Eurovision Song Contest in 1981 with Making Your Mind Up. Who sang that song? Who were the band who performed that song? Making Your Mind Up. Question 10. Which singer and actor performed atop the Berlin Wall on New Year's Eve, 1 month after it fell? Question 10. Which singer and actor famously performed atop the Berlin Wall 1 month on New Year's Eve, 1 month after it fell? Who was that? Very famous. Very famous. Sorry, Robert Griffiths, for my blame Simon for his wording. I just read the questions. Yeah, sorry about that. Question 11. Who was the leader of the Decepticons in the show Transformers? Question 11. Who is the leader of the Decepticons in the show Transformers? Who is it? Which Transformer is it? These last 5 questions are all cartoon based. The next question is question 12. Which cartoon was set on the planet Eternia? Question 12. Which cartoon was set on the planet Eternia? Question 13 is another picture question. It's this one. Name this villain, nefarious fiend. Name the villain pictured. Who is this? Who is it? Question 14, the penultimate question of the quiz round 1 this evening. Question 14, which actor voiced Danger Mouse in the 80s cartoon series? Question 14, which actor voiced Danger Mouse in the 80s cartoon series? And the final question of the first round is question 15. What is Inspector Gadget's niece's name? Question 15. What is Inspector Gadget's niece's name? Pardon me. So that has brought us to the end of round 1. If you need to hear any questions again, please chuck them in the chat and I will review them. You'll have a moment or two, or a minute or two rather, to just think about those answers before we mark round 1. So any questions you need to hear again, chuck them in the chat. I will read them out for you. Anyone need to hear any more questions? Otherwise, we'll mark round 1. Nope. Give you 1 more minute before round 1 is marked. Either you're really confident or you don't know any of the answers. Okay. Here they come. If you are playing against other opponents in the house, swap sheets. Otherwise, we'll just go through the answers and you can mark yourself critically against the ones given. So here they come. Question 1. The weather forecaster who famously assured the viewers that there was not a hurricane coming hours before one of the largest recorded hurricanes to hit at that time was Michael Fish. Michael Fish famously, there's no hurricane coming, don't worry at all. So that was question number 1. Question 2, released in 1989, the legendary handheld games console. It was the Game Boy. Still have mine on the shelf just over there. There it is, with Tetris. Question 3, that first commercial mobile phone, the beast. This beast released in 1984, and it was released by Motorola. A point for each of those if you got them. 1 point for 84, 1 point for Motorola. That's them, these guys. It's a roller motor. So heavy you had to roll it. Question for the UK only had one horrendous Prime Minister in the 1980s. It was the Iron Lady. Old Thatch. Yes, Margaret Thatcher won for the correct answer. 1. Question 5. The musical Cats premiered in 81. The actor who sadly pulled out due to an injury was in fact Judi Dench. Judi Dench. So, question 6. Queen's Under Pressure, released in 81. Features one other artist's vocals. It's, of course, David Bowie. Yeah. Question 7. The musician who in 85 appeared at both London and Philadelphia Live Aid concerts. No one needed him there at both, but he was there anyway. Phil Collins. Yes, Phil. No one's favourite Collins. Question 8 was this picture. Who are these people? Who are they? They are in fact bros. Pretty sure it's bros, but probably bros. Who knows? Huh? She's shouting at me. Bros. There we go. It's correct. That's the answer. Question 9. The United Kingdom actually won Eurovision Song Contest in 1981 with Making Your Mind Up. The band was Bucks Fizz, the famous rip-away Velcro skirts. Bucks Fizz for the point. Question 10. The singer and actor who famously performed atop the Berlin Wall on New Year's Eve 1 month after it fell was the Hoff. David Hasselhoff. For the point. Question 11. The leader of the Decepticons in the show Transformers is Megatron. Question 12. The cartoon set on the planet Eternia is He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Question 13 was this cartoon villain, and this is Krang, the one known as Krang, from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's Krang, evil Krang. Weird little opposable appendages. Question 14. The voice of Danger Mouse and also Count Duckula, the spin-off from Danger Mouse. David Jason, Del Boy. Yes, David Jason, the voice of Danger Mouse, Count Duckula. And question 15. See if you can remember the answer. The niece of Inspector Gadget. It's Penny. Inspector Gadget's niece is Penny. So that's the end of round 1. We'll take a brief break. So please tell me your scores. Chuck them in the chat for your own possible bragging rights or possible, mocking from me. One of those two things will happen, or possibly just, gentle words of encouragement. But I'd love to know how you've done with round 1. 14 from Lisa. That's a pretty reasonable score to throw out there. Who else has done anything better or worse than that? 15 from Ash. Pretty good scores so far. 15 from Villa Magic. 12 from Robert. Oh, slipped a few there. Any more scores? You're perplexed by the 80s. 12 from Annabelle. 7 from Kat. It's a bit before your time. Any more scores in the chat? She is indeed a 90s baby. Okay, everybody. I'm going to chuck the lineup back up. I'm going to chuck the Ko-fi link in the chat just in case anyone wants to chip in. £2 per player. 9 points from Richard. I think you could do better than that, mate. Better in the next round. Films coming up after the break. But once again, chuck us some donations on Ko-fi if you can. And here's the lineup for the rest of the week. We'll be back in like 2-3 Okay. Pam sneaking in with the almost worst score at the end there with 8 points. I'll give you one more minute before we start round 2. Starting with 5 questions of films from the 80s. Possibly some people's favourite area. Who knows? But yes. Okay, everybody. Question 16 as we start round 2. Question 16. Actor Sean Astin played Bob Newby in the 80s inspired Stranger Things. But which 1985 film did he famously star in? Question 16. Actor Sean Astin plays Bob Newby in the 80s inspired Stranger Things. But which 1985 film did he famously star in? Who do you know? That was question 16. Question number 17. Question 17. In which film did Mr. T first say the phrase, "I pity the fool"? In which film, question 17, in which film did Mr. T first say the phrase, "I pity the fool, I pity the fool, I pity the fool"? Which film was that? It's a film. Question 18 is a picture question. It is this picture. This picture is a film poster with the words taken away. So which film is this poster for? Name the film that's pictured. Which film is this poster for? Question 18. Name the film pictured. Spoiler alert. Yeah. Question 19. Question 19. Which family film was the highest grossing movie of the 80s? Question number 19. Which family film was the highest grossing movie of the 80s? And the last film question. Question 20. Question 20. Leg warmers were a big fashion trend in the 80s. Which 83 film widely thought to have inspired their popularity? Which film was it? So question 20. Leg warmers were synonymous with the 80s, a huge fashion trend. But which 1983 film is widely thought to have inspired their popularity? Which film was that? Oh, sorry, Pam. But yeah, you were alive then. You should remember it. You were, prime of your lives, maybe. Who knows? Okay. Question 21 begins a 5-question streak of sporting questions. So question 21. Which country won the 1986 Football World Cup? Question 21. Which country won the 1986 Football World Cup? Who was that? Oh, sorry, who were they? Question 22. Question 22. Who was responsible for a famous outburst that saw him exclaim, "You cannot be serious," at the 1981 Wimbledon Championships? Question 22. Who was responsible for a famous outburst that saw him exclaim, "You cannot be serious," at the 1981 Wimbledon Championships? Who was it? It was not Victor Meldrew. Question 23. Give you a moment to ponder your outbursting tennis players. Question 23 is another picture. It is a sports person, and you just need to name them. Who is this sports person? Who there? Who's that sports person? Who is it in Olympic regalia? Who is that sports person? Name them for the point. Who is it? That was a sports person. Oh, there they are again. Who was it? Who was it? So name that sports person. Question 23. Name them. Once more. Yeah, name that sports person for the points for question 23. Question 24, on the other hand. Question 24. Hopefully you've written the answer to question 23 down. And here's question 24. Which female tennis player won the most Wimbledon titles in the 1980s? Question 24. Which female tennis player won the most Wimbledon titles in the 1980s? And finally, the last sports question of this 80s quiz is question 25. It's a 3-pointer. Question 25. There were 3 Summer Olympic Games in the 1980s. Which 3 countries hosted them? 1 point for each. Question 25. Name the 3 hosts of the Summer Olympic Games that took place during the 1980s. Which 3 separate countries hosted them over that time period? A point for each of them. Okay. The last 5 questions of the quiz this evening relate to the television of the 1980s. So, here come the questions. Question 26. Question 26. Which wedding was one of the most viewed TV events of the 1980s? Question 26. Which wedding was one of the most viewed TV events of the 1980s? Who was it? Question 27. Question 27. EastEnders debuted in 1985. Which character said the iconic line, "Cool, stinks in here, doesn't it?" Question 27. EastEnders debuted in 1985, but which character said the iconic opening line, "Cool, stinks in here, doesn't it?" Who was that? Question 28. The last picture question of the quiz. Pardon me. Question 28. The rise of wrestling was thanks to this man creating WWF, now WWE. But what is this man's name? What, question 28, is this man's name? One of the most central creators of the World Wrestling Federation / World Wrestling Entertainment. Who is this bloke? Who is it? Who is that guy? Who is he? He was around long now still, but obviously still long into the 90s and the 2000s. But yeah, who's that guy for question 28? The penultimate question of the quiz this evening is question 29. Question 29. Which TV show's theme ends with the lyrics, God bless Hookie Street, Viva Hookie Street, Long live Hookie Street, C'est magnifique Hookie Street. I'll say that again. Question 29. Which TV show's theme ends with the lyrics, God bless Hookie Street, Viva Hookie Street, Long live Hookie Street, C'est magnifique Hookie Street. Which TV show's theme ends with those lines? And the final question of this evening's 1980s themed quiz. Question 30. In 1986, it's a fantastic year, the cast of which TV show released an anti-drug song called Just Say No? I'll say that once more. Question 30. In 1986, the cast of which kids' TV show released an anti-drugs song called Just Say No? And that was the last question of the quiz this evening. So, once more, if you need to hear any questions again, put the number in the chat and I will read them out. Shoot them at me, people. Shoot them at me. Would you say it was a harder or an easier round than the last? Maybe you warmed up your 80s juices in round 1. Any repeat questions at all? Or are you all just so confident my diction is impeccable? I repeat the question more times than you need. And, you heard it. Stop asking me if I need to hear it. Just want to know the answers. Yeah, come on. Tell me. Do you need to hear any questions again? Doesn't seem like it. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're just shouting at your computers, going, "Come on, just tell us the bloody answers." But yeah. Oh, for the Olympics one, did you want the cities or the countries? I just wanted the countries. Ashbeck001, just the countries. I'll give you bonus kudos points for knowing the cities. But like the other points, they don't win you anything else. But apart from your own kudos. Cool. Okay. So let's mark round number 2. Starting with question 16 in the films section. So question 16. Actor Sean Austin played Bob Newby in the 80s show Stranger Things. In 1985, he famously starred in The Goonies. Yeah, that film that most people love from the 80s. I dislike it intensely, but The Goonies. He's in that film. That guy. He's in the film. Anyway, yeah, that's the thing. Question 17. Mr. T famously first said the phrase, "I pity the fool," in Rocky 3. Yes, Rocky 3. He went on to obviously be Sean Astin. I'm sorry. I'm dyslexic and I just read the word. But I'm terribly sorry. Everyone was thinking of Stone Cold or something. Steve Austin. I don't know. I'm sorry. But that's what it says on my sheet. But hopefully everyone else know who the guy who plays Bob from Stranger Things is. But anyway, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Villa Magic 82. Sorry. But question 18. Was this picture? Yep, it was the poster for the film Poltergeist. Horrifically scary. If you're scared by TVs absorbing you. Question 19. The family film that was the highest grossing movie of the 1980s was E.T. E.T. Question 20. Leg warmers. Eponymously associated with the 1980s. Massive fashion trend. But the 1983 film, widely thought to have inspired their popularity, is in fact Flashdance. Flashdance. Just imagine everyone running on the spot in little leg warmers, yeah. So that was the that question there. Question 21. 1986 Football World Cup winners were Argentina. Yeah, those guys. Famously. Question 22. The famous outburst that saw a tennis player scream, "You cannot be serious!" After probably saying you're a fucking something and fuck everything else. But it was John McEnroe. The last man to win a Grand Slam with a wooden tennis racket. Yes, John McEnroe. Question 23 was this sports person. This guy! I do this motion because he's famous for representing Great Britain in the Winter Olympics. It is Eddie the Eagle Edwards. Eddie the Eagle. We'll get you the point. Eddie Edwards would be impressive. But Eddie the Eagle, this stalwart of British sportsdom. Question 24. The female tennis player who won the most Wimbledon titles of the 1980s was Martina Navratilova. Sorry, you missed the... Question 21. Question 21 is Argentina. Ashbeck 001. It's Argentina as the World Cup winners. Sorry. So question 24 was the tennis player with the most 80s titles, Martina Navratilova. Martina Navratilova. And question 25, the last of the sports questions. There were 3 Olympic Games in the 1980s. The 3 countries that hosted them were, in 1980, the Soviet Union. Kudos if you know the city. In 1984, the United States. You might think there was some sort of tit-for-tat / Cold War type thing going on. Anyway, and the third in 1988 was South Korea for the 3rd point. So 1 point for the Soviet Union, 1 point for the US, and 1 point for South Korea. Question 26. The wedding that was one of the most viewed television events of the 1980s was obviously, or perhaps not, I don't know, Prince Charles and Princess Diana. We all know how that ended. Question 27. EastEnders debuted in 1985. The character with the iconic opening line, "Cool, it stinks in here." It was that filthy, stinking, filthy den. Dirty Den. Dirty Den. Den Watts was the opening line. The most despicable character was Dirty Den. Question 28. Was this gentleman here recently called in to advise President of the United States Donald Trump, yes, I kid you not, former Beefcake, and president of WWE Entertainment, it's Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon, yes, he's McMahon. Man. Yeah, Vince McMahon. There he is. I shit you not, currently advising Donald Trump on like some policies. Who cares? Question 29. The TV show, its theme ends with the lyrics, "God bless Hookie Street, Viva Hookie Street, Long live Hookie Street, C'est magnifique Hookie Street," was of course Only Fools and Horses. I'm sure you can all sing those lines. Love it. As a former market trader, do love a bit of Hookie Street. And the final question of the quiz this evening was question 30. In 1986, the year of my birth, which kids' TV show released an anti-drugs song called Just Say No? It was, of course, Grange Hill. Grange Hill, everybody, for the final answer. In the 1986 anti-drug song Just Say No from the kids from Grange Hill. So, how have you done? Scores in the chat, I want to know. I want to possibly mock, possibly be impressed by your knowledge, by fairly overreaching kind of segments of 80s culture. 26 from Robert Griffiths, 23 from Annabelle. It's not bad. It's not bad. 16 from Cat. Oh, Lisa McDowell. Not great, is it? 12-pointer. Were you born at that point? Is that shame? Or like Cat, who was a decade later? If you were alive for more than 30 points from Quiz Me Till It Hurts. That might be one of the best scores we've seen. Well, it's the best score we've seen so far, but I mean, like, could that be the top score this evening? 26. Oh, 26 in total from Leesman. Oh, okay, so just a bad second half. I see. I meant total scores, people. Come on, you can add those two things together. What have you got? That's not bad at all, though. 26 is a good score. Commendable. Anyone else got any points for me? Got me in a right East End mood. Stinks in here, done it? Come on, have you done? Well, while I'm waiting for anyone else to share how they've done, I just wanted to say thank you very much for all participating this evening. Thoroughly enjoyed hosting this. I hope you've enjoyed participating. Treehouse Quizzes will be back. 31 points. Oh, you'd have almost Aspect 001. But someone put Fame. Ugh. But you know, just what can you say? You know, you didn't win, sadly, this time. Tune in next week for another quiz with me. Tune in tomorrow night. I'll check the lineup once again in a moment for general knowledge. Tomorrow night. We've got quizzes tomorrow, Friday and Saturday. Treehouse Quizzes. I've thoroughly enjoyed having you. I hope you've enjoyed quizzing. Thank you all. Good evening. I'll chuck Covey link back into the chat just in case you haven't and still intend to chuck us a couple of quid per player this evening. But otherwise, I thoroughly thank you for playing. Stay safe out there and enjoy our quizzes. Come back soon. Not tragic completely in the end there, Pam, but, you know, better luck next time. Tune in tomorrow for General Knowledge, Big Jim on Friday, and Simon with the music quiz and DJ set on Saturday. Once again, it's been a pleasure hosting for you all. See you soon.